Spoilers from the get-go, by the way, so if you haven't seen the film, go get yourself a HBO subscription and watch it, or get yourself to the cinema. One of two will do. And I'm back with my quick review of the new Matrix film, Matrix Resurrections, if that is the title, because I swear to God I've done this 5 times and got the title wrong 4. Anyway, I'm going to break this down to a shorter review, okay? The things I didn't like and the things I liked. The things I liked. Number 1, the world. It is great to see this world again and see the aftermath of the whole Zion machine-human conflict in the first trilogy. It's really cool to see the new dynamic of the robots that are now working side by side with the human. There were machines that were sympathizers, so it's cool to see that play out in the long run. There's one scene, and you see a program and an old woman both working towards this common goal. Something as fucking awesomely small as recreating strawberries in the real world. And you see these 2 robots or programs, whatever you want to call them, that help Neo escape when he first wakes up again from the Matrix. And that's cool as hell to see. Machine City, you do see a little smidge of it, but not as much as I would have liked. I've always wanted to see more. It is this huge expanse. I mean, the machines rule the surface now. I mean, I would have loved to see more. Number 2, I really enjoyed Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, I really like his character. Spoilers, but he is essentially taken over for the architect, from my understanding, and he is the builder of this world. He's funny, he's powerful, he knows it. I think he does see the threat of Trinity and Neo, because it turns out that he was the one that brought them back to life. He recognises that as long as they're not completely together and just away from it and just separated, then he's safe from them. It's a threat. He also talks about power output, because at the end of the day, obviously, the humans being hooked up to these massive structures. It's for power. It's for the machine's power, because if you don't know, obviously we blacked out the sky during the early stages, or maybe mid stages of the machine-human conflict. So, and that's how they got their power, from us. The third thing I really liked was the humour. There's some blatant humour in this. I mean, in the first trilogy, Neo was this dead serious character. There was no room in the film for humour. But in this there is. Like, there's a scene where he gets confronted with Agent Smith. The French guy comes out of nowhere. I don't know how much I like that.
It is you!
Stay on.
All these years up.
Alright, so obviously Neo initially wouldn't have said anything in reply to seeing this guy.
I can't believe it. Oh, God.
It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, no, this cunt again. 5 things I didn't like about this film. Number 1 was the nostalgia dump. Essentially, this film just feels like a massive fan service, and I think that diminishes its existence and standing as an equal to the existing trilogy. It can't be seen as an equal, because all it does is grab back. Oh, do you want to see what's happening with Smith? There you go. Do you want to see what happened to the French guy? There he is. Do you want to see what happened to Morpheus? Well, here's a guy called Morpheus. The Morpheus character is obviously not Morpheus. Not really. Morpheus is dead. This is a newly created character made in the train simulation at the start of the film. And it's great. It's great in the film. He actually has a purpose. He's funny, and obviously the dude that plays him is the new Candyman actor. What's his name? I don't know. I've only seen him in something like 3 things. I think what I'm getting at is there's some instances of nostalgia that are cool. Like, there's a throwback to Captain Roland. Captain Roland was that guy. He was one of the main captains of the different ships back in the day. And there's a throwback to when Neo meets the rest of this new crew. One of them says, "You knew my grandfather, Captain Roland." But I will say the worst thing about this entire whole nostalgia dump character throwback thing is Nairobi. Jada Pinkett Smith's character is in this. I don't know if it's her that plays her or not. I really don't care. I don't like the character because she just seems to be a bastard in this. Like, the main crew, you know, girl with the blue hair and all that jazz, and Morpheus, who break Neo out of the Matrix and bring him back. You know, you'd think that that achievement would be awarded with, you know, some sort of 2 thumbs up, you brought him back, that is so great. You can tell us what happened now, kind of thing. But no, she's like, everybody shut the fuck up, you're going to jail, talking about Neo, and then the rest of you, you're getting stripped of all your rights, of, you know, and your ship, get it washed and, you know, fuck off. She even goes out her way to say that she never believed in the One, which prompts Neo to say, "You're to die." And you know, I know that's meant to be deep and, you know, self-reflective, but no, it just doesn't work. It's just pointless. Just as pointless as her character in this film.
We saw machines out.
Oh, aye, that was a cool aspect, actually. Just to go back to the first thing I liked, like I said, you got to see a lot of the aftermath of the Zion machine-human war. And one of those things was the machines going to war with each other, which I thought was really cool because it showed some individuality in those machines. Not that they were this hive mind, which I think they were presented to be in the trilogy. But anyway, let's move on. Second thing I didn't like was the fight scenes. In comparison to the first films, I don't think the fights were that good. It was the editing of them. They would cut too quick from one fight to another. They wouldn't really stick with it like they did in the first one. Their angles were weird as well. Like, if you look back to the Matrix trilogy, things were the angle was predefined. It was very head on. Almost like a fighting game kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Kind of like Mortal Kombat. Side on to the characters fighting, and then it would, you know, cut up in an appropriate timing to different angles. But in this, it didn't happen. The fights just didn't have the same energy. Number 3 is, I don't think this should have been a film. I think it should have been a game. Because the story is so strangely anemic. Because all that happens is Neo wakes up, Neo saves Trinity, and then they live happily ever after. And you know, you could say, oh well, that's basic narrative, Mark. I know, equilibrium, disequilibrium, and then equilibrium, I get it. But at the same time, there's not really much more meat to those bones. I think it would have been more apt for a game, or a TV series, or an anime. Why not just make a bloody anime of this? Of all things, of all franchises that would fit an anime, Matrix. Already happened in Animatrix. Why not do it again? Would have been great. Probably could have added a lot more, you know, a lot more story, a lot more subplots. You could have went to with the different characters. There could have been a prequel to this sequel, if you know what I mean. Just to give you some more information of what happened in between instead of just small scenes like this.
War with one another.
Yeah. Because that's awesome, but that's really all you get. This only lasts for like another 10 seconds. So, number 4 is Mr. Smith. I really wish Hugo Weaving came back to the fold with this film. You know, you could say, oh well, they recast Morpheus. Yeah, but like I said already, that isn't Morpheus. It's a program that was created by Neo to be Morpheus. With the Mr. Smith thing, it's the same thing as the Neo thing, in the sense that in this film you'll see him looking, anytime you see his reflection, you're seeing what other people see him as this new skin, but you know, but we see them as they are. And it could have been the same thing with Smith, and it was, because when he look, it's the opposite though, strangely, because when he looks into the mirror, he sees his real self. So it's kind of a weird backwards thing there, but I really just wish Hugo Weaving came back. Nothing against the guy who did play him. And that brings us to our last and final thing I did not like about this film. Trinity and Neo being equals. Obviously, if you've seen this film, you know that at the end, Trinity and Neo jump off a building to get away from the enemy. Neo's idea was, you know what, I'll throw myself in off the roof and then I will remember how to fly. Logic. Didn't happen though. Trinity, however, can fly now. And you know, I just don't know. The reason that I bring it up as something I don't like is that it kind of takes away certain aspects that were worked towards in the first trilogy. It's just like there was no character arc, there was no work put in, there was nothing. It was like, oh, she has powers now. Happy days. I am strong woman. I would give this 3 out of 5 stars. It's great to see the world again, like I said. It's great to see Keanu Reeves reprise the character in a different way, I will say. And certain elements in terms of characters are, you know, pretty fun in this. So, like I said, 3 out of 5 stars. Give it a watch if you have the opportunity, but I wouldn't pursue it by any means. You won't miss anything, really. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you agree, if you like the video, remember, like and subscribe. If not, that's fine, but I'll catch you next time.